If you're in the market for a near perfect execution of a mid-size executive luxury sports sedan, it's pretty hard to beat the Audi S6. As the middle child between the regular A6 and the high-performance RS6, the S6 has always had that perfect balance when you're looking for a dynamic vehicle on your favorite back roads, but also a comfortable luxury cruiser when you want to go on those longer road trips. Now for 2025, there's an all-new, fully redesigned Audi S6, and as you can see today, we are back out here in beautiful Newport Beach, California, because we're finally able to see the all-new S6 e-tron Sportback in the sheet metal. So now that we're finally doing so, let's go ahead and take a detailed first look. So while the current generation Audi A6 and S6 has been around since 2017, we are technically still waiting for an all-new 6th generation. In Europe, they've already revealed it. However, in America, you're gonna have to wait about another year. This model that we're showing you today is technically a different model. Even though it bears the A6/S6 nameplate, this is technically the S6 e-tron, which is built on their new PPE architecture, which stands for Premium Platform Electric. So before we start talking about the exterior design, let me go ahead and pop the hood and show you guys what's underneath here. Now, because this is an EV, you're actually gonna get a front storage space, which is not something that Audi electric vehicles have had in the past, but that's because this is built on a dedicated EV architecture. That front trunk storage space measures roughly 1 cubic feet, so it's usable. It's useful if you guys want to put the mobile charging cable in here, or if you've got some like takeout to go food you can put in here if you don't want to stink up the cabin with it. But because this is the S6, let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain specs. This model uses a 100 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. Around 94.4 is actually usable. Audi claims this model is good for up to 324 miles of range, or 302 if you have the model with the 21-inch wheels like the one we're showing you here. With its dual electric motor setup, you have a total of 543 horsepower. That's of course in launch mode. That power drops to 496 in everyday driving. Of course, the launch control gives you a little bit extra power. Audi doesn't technically rate the torque figure of this engine because the two electric motors reach their peak torque at different stages, so you can't technically add them together. If you could, it would have roughly 631 pound-feet, all going out through a 1-speed reduction gear transmission. And of course, this is an Audi. It has their electronic quattro all-wheel drive system. Audi claims this model should be good for 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds with a top speed of around 149 miles an hour. Now, of course, this is an electric vehicle, so it is going to be heavier. I think the previous generation S6, which was gas-powered, was around 4,500 pounds. I'd estimate this car is around 5,200 pounds. So again, that big battery pack, the fact that it's 100 kilowatt hours, the fact that it's a dedicated EV architecture is going to contribute to the weight gain. But let's go ahead and close up the hood here and talk about the exterior styling. Now, if you guys have seen our review on the Audi Q6 e-tron, you're gonna find the styling language here to be familiar. And this is kind of where I don't love where Audi is going with their newest styling direction, but let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the design. You can see this exterior color, this white exterior with the metallic fleck, and it certainly looks nice in the California sunshine. The headlights you can see are pretty similar to what Audi showed us on the e-tron A6 concept a couple of years ago. You have this divorced element where you have the LED daytime running light at the top portion with sequential LED turn signals. You also have up to 8 different light signatures because these are their upgraded full LEDs with some OLED LED technology. You can see the headlights are actually separate. They're actually divorced down from the daytime running light module in this kind of like black obisque here, where it tries to look a little bit like it's like hidden in the actual fascia. I don't particularly like this look. It kind of is a very trendy look where everybody's going with the divorced split headlight theme. You can see their headlights include headlight washers. You have integrated parking sensors, full front camera as well. You can see the Audi single frame grille at the front has a closed off area along with this interesting like contrasting black line textures in the actual grille because this is an EV. Now, of course, there are some functional air intake openings for this vehicle around here, of course, in the lower front fascia. And that all contributes to the 0.23 coefficient of drag, which makes this the slipperiest sedan that Audi currently has in their lineup. My particular test car here also has, for an extra $1,900, the black optics package, which essentially blacks out elements here and here. If you guys don't have the black optics package, you'll have some metallic silver accents, which I actually think looks a little bit better. In this white exterior color, there's a lot of contrast here between the black and white. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the design. But as you can see, the new S6 e-tron certainly is wide. It's around 76.5 inches wide. It's also around 58.5 inches tall, so it's a little bit taller than the previous, regular S6 combustion vehicle. And then when you look look around the side profile, this is also a sedan, although it's technically a Sportback when we lift up the trunk area. Its wheelbase is 116 inches long. Its overall length is 194.4. This is technically around the same size as the current Audi S6, the gas model. The next generation S6, which is the internal combustion powered model, will be around 2.5 inches longer than this vehicle here. Now looking at the wheels, you can see this particular test car has an optional, with the black optics package, 21-inch alloy wheel. A 20-inch wheel is going to be standard. The brakes are also enlarged with the red painted Audi S, badging there, of course, with the brake calipers. It's a 245 by 40 R21 front width tire, a staggered setup 275 width at the back. So again, that's going to give this car better grip, and it also gives it a really nice stance when you look at the vehicle from the back. An adaptive air suspension is also included. It can raise and lower the vehicle up to 40 millimeters or around 1.5 inches. And Audi also puts a more aggressive tune on the dampers and an upgraded steering rack ratio to give you a little bit sportier response. I love the full paint finish. In fact, around the side profile, I think this car looks really nice. Along with the S-Line, or with the S6, you get the black optics package, includes the black Audi side mirrors, which are metallic silver if you guys don't go for the black optics package. Same thing here with the window trim, which also is black with the optics package, or silver if you guys go for the standard model. You can see the door handles also have this aerodynamic finish to it, where you actually stick your hand in here and push a button. That's what's going to open up the door for you. This contributes to the aerodynamics. And then the roof, you can see that panoramic glass roof with a variable light control, and a digital curtain is also going to be included as standard. This basically allows you to electrically frost or defrost with several different stages on the interior roof panel to let more or less light in. You can see Audi's also been doing this new thing here where they're putting the name of the vehicle at the base of the B pillar, which kind of reminds everybody and yourself when you're getting into this car what you're driving. So this is an S6 Sportback e-tron Quattro. That is definitely quite a name. And then you can see here, looking at the rest of the profile, on this side here, you're going to find a charge port door, and it's electronic opening, as you can see. And on this side, you're only going to have the standard J1772 plug. On the other side, you have the same power opening door, but it'll add the CCS combo. So I'm surprised that Audi's not using the NACS plug just yet. I'm imagining they're going to change that at some point. But the beauty about the S6 e-tron is this is finally a modernized EV, because this runs on the 800-volt architecture. It can accept up to 270 kilowatts on a DC fast charger, allowing you to go from 10 to 80% in around 21 minutes, around 12 hours if you're going to plug into a level 2 with its 9.6 kilowatt onboard charger. This model, like I said earlier, has around 302 miles of range. Now looking at the rear, you can see I think Audi did a better job on the styling direction for the back of this vehicle. It has a traditional sedan look to it, but as you can see, it definitely has that Sportback theme where it almost tries to look like a coupe. I love the very subtle and tasteful rear deck lid spoiler back here, which is black painted. The taillights have that very trendy LED light bar. You can see these are the OLED taillights where you have 8 different light signatures as well. The turn signals are also sequential, dynamic. Audi likes to call them that. You can see full light bar, and this is also the first Audi sedan to get, or Audi vehicle in general, to get illuminated Audi rings at the back. So it's not illuminated at the front, but it is illuminated here. It certainly creates a more distinctive light signature along with the dynamic turn signals. You can see the rear bumper on the S6 also looks a little bit more aggressive. The one thing I am missing is quad exhaust. Obviously this is electric, but that was always the signature defining characteristic of an S or an RS6 model, is the very, aggressive looking exhaust. But obviously you have a more aggressive diffuser back here, some black accents, and it certainly is a handsome vehicle. Again, I love the design of this vehicle at the rear versus the front fascia, which I'm still not quite in love with compared to Audi's previous design language. Now looking at the cargo area, a power liftgate is included, and what's excellent about the S6 being a Sportback is you have way more cargo space versus a lot of its competitors. You have around 25.9 cubic feet of storage space with the back seats up. You can see plenty of room in here for all your stuff, and you also have additional storage to the side as well. And if you want, you can also open up the underfloor storage area that reveals the mobile charger. Of course, you have a little bit more underfloor storage, just a fix-a-flat kit, obviously no spare tire, but you do have tools to actually remove the wheel. And if you want to fold down the seats, Audi allows you to do so, but not from back here. You have to hop into the vehicle and fold them down via this button here. It's a 40-20-40 arrangement. But once you do that, you get around 39.9 cubic feet of storage space. So again, that is near best in the class, because all of its other competitors are technically more traditional sedans. Although some of you would probably want to compare this to a Tesla Model S, which technically the Tesla has the same, if not more space. But it's really great for those of you who wouldn't be caught dead in an SUV. You can see, even though this gives you a sedan look and shape, it has the versatility of a hatchback, which is going to be easier to sell this vehicle if you plan to use it as a family car. Now moving on to the interior of the 2025 Audi S6 e-tron. You can see the white exterior color of this vehicle is complemented perfectly by the Aris red premium Nappa leather interior. This red color combination with the white definitely looks very elegant. It looks very modern, sophisticated. And I also love the seats that the S model comes with. These are a slightly more aggressive looking seat with some contrasting white or slightly white gray stitching, which has this really interesting diamond pattern. The seats are also heated and ventilated. So thank you, Audi, for finally offering ventilated seats on your red interior. Previously, you could only really get it with a black interior. This is definitely a nice upgrade. The seats adjust in like 14 different ways. You have two-person memory on the driver's side. And the leather material feels really comfortable. It looks really sporty, but at the same time, it's still really plush. So these are a great seat if you guys want something that's gonna hold you in place of aggressive driving and also be comfortable on those longer road trips. But getting inside, this is a sedan, so it has that typical sedan step-in height. And once you get inside, you can see the door has a pretty solid sounding thunk. This model here, however, because it's a prestige version, also includes a soft close function, which is not something that you get in the the SQ6 e-tron. So keep that in mind. The S6 versus the SQ6, this has slightly more upgraded features versus the SUV counterpart. Now, in terms of the door panel materials, you can see this upper portion has a slightly padded soft touch injection molded plastic. There's some carbon fiber looking trim, although I'm not entirely sure if this is real carbon fiber. It has some really interesting cube textures in it, but it definitely feels like almost like a plastic that's made to look like carbon fiber. There's some nice Alcantara here with the contrast stitching. The door handle here is just a silver painted plastic, as you can see. Some piano black plastic here. Window controls are one touch up down for all four with that typical clicky high quality feel that Audis are known for. This little panel here houses controls for the mirror controls, the memory seats. Your headlight controls are also located here now, along with your child safety lock functionality. And then down here, it's all hard touch plastic with additional storage. The steering wheel on the S6, as you can see, looks better versus what you get on the A6. This model has a flat bottom and a flat top design. It also has a power tilt telescoping functionality. I don't love the plastic paddles behind the wheel that controls the different levels of regen braking. There's two different levels, well, technically three if you count the B mode and the transmission selector. These touch sensitive buttons allow you to control the virtual cockpit display. In fact, this interior is called Audi's Digital Stage. It's their latest infotainment software. We've shown you guys this interior in other Audi models like the Q6 or the SQ6. I have to say, I am a little bit annoyed that Audi is essentially using the same dashboard design as all of their vehicles while they're changing a couple of details here and there. Audi claims that this look is supposed to look like their single frame grille at the front of the vehicle. So they want that cohesion for the outside kind of carried over into the interior, which I kind of see what they're talking about. You have a 14.5-inch center display with their newest software. You can see my phone is connected via the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the software behind it is also based on Android Automotive. It's got Google built in. You have access to the Google Play Store, and it's just much more powerful and way faster in its response time versus the old Audi MMI system. You can see going back to the home system, there's the built-in GPS, which has Google Maps built in. I do want to point out that Google Maps is not available in the actual virtual cockpit anymore. This is actually less, I guess, complex or less intricate than the previous system. And that's because when you guys go for the Prestige model, you now have a separate 10.9-inch display here where you can actually pull up YouTube, for example, and watch your favorite YouTube channel like us, hopefully, if that's the case. Or you can go back to the main display here. It gives you all these different sources. You can also pull up your Google Maps here. So that's partly the reason why I think Audi stopped offering the Google Maps here in the instrument panel, because they've moved it over to the side. You can also play video games from here. You also have an augmented reality heads-up display, which allows the vehicle to display information up to 600 feet down the road. And then in terms of the rest of the materials, you can see you have that fake carbon fiber trim, or it could be real, I'm not entirely sure. You also have this padded material up here with the soft touch injection molded plastic. That's a faux stitching. This is technically a real stitching with the Alcantara. I love the dash vents because they're a traditional manual style where you can change the airflow where it's not in the actual screen. Down here you can see lots of additional storage. Your wireless phone charging pad is here. My iPhone 16 Pro Max fits nicely. And then you have two USB-C charging ports. I don't love the piano black plastic here, but if you keep it clean, it certainly looks nice. Your drive mode selector is here on the S6. You get a total of 4 different drive modes, and you also get an individual mode where you can kind of change it, custom tailor it to your liking. If I flip this little stalk upwards, that puts the vehicle into reverse. There's your 360 camera, which includes trajectory. It includes distance markers, front and rear parking sensors, automatic emergency braking. I will say that the resolution, while it does look good, There are some vehicles that could potentially have a little bit more crystal clear resolution, which is funny because when you go into this screen here, the OLED display is certainly even more crystal clear, and that's because it's an OLED display. Now, the cup holders, as you can see, pretty usable. You have an actual volume knob here, your stability control off switch is here, of course, and then you can see padded center console with Alcantara. Open this up, it's a pretty deep console storage with additional storage here off to the front, which is nice to kind of hide a few things. It's a deeper storage area than I thought it was going to be, so that's really nice. And then the glove box, you can see, is damped and lined with felt. It goes, or it's a bin style. It offers an additional amount of covered storage, which is great. And then above me, you can see here this variable light control roof with the digital curtain. I want you to look closely. If I push this button here, you can see it actually changes from two different styles, and that's because there are 9 individual segments here where you can basically interchange it. So if I want to go completely opaque, or if I want to just have the front area be opaque while the back be transparent, you can kind of do that. So it kind of gives you that customization here. And this is precisely the reason why Audi doesn't offer a roof that actually opens up to vent air. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys like this, or if you'd rather have an opening roof. I personally would like the option to have an opening roof. But overall, as you can see, the interior is pretty similar to the last SQ6 and Q6 e-tron. I am kind of hoping that Audi would have at least given this a unique interior design. But again, this new infotainment software certainly is much improved, although I think look-wise, BMW technically got it a little bit better with the current i5. But let's go ahead and hop into the backseat area. I can show you guys what that space is like. Now, being that this vehicle is a Sportback, it's a 4-door sedan, but it's a hatchback, Audi says you have around 35.2 inches of legroom back here, which is certainly not, class leading, but it's also still very usable. As I get back here and shut the door, you can see this is not my driving position. The seat technically came back, but the floor here is not completely flat. So the middle passenger here has to kind of navigate through this little hump. You have rear seat air vents, heated rear seats, 3rd zone climate control, and USB-C charging ports. You have 2 storage cubbies here, and then the material quality you can see is the same soft touch plastic with some Alcantara here, padded area over here. The Bang & Olufsen stereo has 20 speakers, including 2 in each of the headrests, so a total of 4 of those 20 speakers are in the headrest, and it sounds great if you guys are an audiophile. Headroom space isn't great. You can see the glass roof only offers like an additional 2 inches of clearance for me. I do appreciate the head restraints back here, which are adjustable. They're actually really comfortable. They kind of support your head nicely if you're somebody like my height. I'm 5'7", and if you fold this down, you can see there's an armrest with 2 cup holders. The red leather also looks really nice, but overall, keep in mind some competitors do offer a slightly bigger back seat with maybe an inch or 2 more legroom, but this is still a very practical car if you plan to use this as a family vehicle. So after finally getting a chance to see the all-new Audi S6 e-tron Sportback in the sheet metal, I have to say, when I first saw this vehicle in pictures, I was not a fan of the front styling language, especially since, again, they kind of grafted on that Q6 e-tron front end with the divorced headlights onto a sedan. But I have to say, when you see this vehicle in person, the design language definitely screams a little bit more elegant, a little bit more sophistication, and on the S6 especially, a little bit more of a sporty pretension, because Audi, again, the S6 has always been kind of the sweet spot, the perfect middle ground between the A6 and the RS6. And this new model here, while it's technically not a direct replacement for the gas-powered S6 that you could be looking to replace, that model will be coming sometime next year. This model, I have to say, built on their new PPE architecture, has the lines that really befit the actual design profile, because Audi is technically a leader when it comes to a 4-door body with a Sportback design, or basically a 4-door hatchback. And this model's look, especially from this angle at the back with the black optics package, I think is actually perfection. Because remember, think of the competitive set for the S6 and A6 e-tron. You're comparing it to vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz EQE, the Tesla Model S. Well, that looks nice. It's also really, really old. Tesla just gave it another refresh. You can also compare this to the Lucid Air, which also looks a little bit weird, but Lucid does a really great job with their EVs. And then, of course, there's my personal favorite and the looker, the BMW i5. And that's kind of where the A6 and S6 e-tron definitely have a really good price starting point, because Audi could have made this car a lot more expensive than a lot of its rivals, but this is the beauty about the S6. This model here starts at around 78 grand. The A6 is around $12,000 less at around 65.9. Add $2,000 on the A6 if you guys want quattro all-wheel drive. That price undercuts rivals like the BMW i5 by about $2,000. This car is around $8,000 cheaper than the really, really ugly Mercedes EQE. A Tesla Model S starts at around $85,000. This particular test car here with the Prestige package adds around $8,000 to the price tag. Add again the destination charge, the color upcharge, and you're looking at a grand total of $88,390 for this model here. I know nearly 90 grand sounds like a lot of money, but consider the fact that a BMW i5 M60 is around $10,000 or $10,000 to $50,000 more. A Mercedes AMG EQE is around $15,000 to $20,000 more. Now, technically, Audi would say that an RS version will compete more with the AMG EQE, but this definitely compares very favorably with the BMW i5 M60, and it's around, again, $12,000 less. So when you look at it from that angle, this definitely offers a certain value to it. And I think Audi, from this proportion here, along with the cargo capacity, the interior, with the new technology, the powertrain specs, of course, with the near top of the class range and best in class horsepower, it should be a really nice addition, especially for those of you who want to keep your S6 or still stick with an S6 name, but go fully electric. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering, how does this vehicle drive? You're gonna have to come back on July 23rd at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we'll post a separate video that'll have full driving impressions on this car, and of course, a regular A6 e-tron as well with the Quattro all-wheel drive system. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my very detailed overview on the brand new 2025 Audi S6 e-tron. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews. Like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.